right, joined by Ernie Els, 19-time PGA Tour winner. And Ernie, here we are on this PGA Tour Champions. This week you had your birthday, and your team is still in the mix over there, the South Africans in rugby. So pretty special week, I'd imagine.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't know how special it is when you turn 54, but we had a nice birthday the other day, and obviously the win on Sunday in the Rugby World Cup was fantastic. And I spoke to the head coach and the director of rugby, Mr. Erasmus, and obviously wishing them all the best for the match coming up this weekend. Against England, it's really coming down to the nitty and gritty of it. But they're playing awesome, and they've been doing unbelievably well. So hopefully we can get through England and get to the final.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to. And when I look at your career and I think about the different years in your career, right? 97, obviously a win there at the U.S. Open, 94. But is there a year that stands out for you, Ernie, where you think, you know what, that year, if I could do that, have that one back, things might have been a lot different, if you pinpointed one?
Oh, yeah, early on. Obviously 94 was my breakthrough year, winning U.S. Open in 94 at Oakmont. And then in 1995, I had another really good year going. And as it would be, I never won the PGA championship. But at Riviera, I had a 3-shot lead going into the final round. And, I was just playing such great golf. I had a bit of an off day, and I remember horseshoeing my putt out on the 16th hole, par 3 for birdie, and then bogeying 17, and then missing out on the playoff, with Steve Elkington and Colin Montgomery. I still think back to that because, if I could have done better on that final round, get that championship under the belt, things could have been a bit different. But a lot of players, every single player you're going to speak to and ask that question, there's some tournaments that got away from you. And that's obviously one that got away from me. The next year, the British Open, 96 also, I was making a charge and bogeyed 16 and 18. So it be, 2004, I had another great year.
Masters and
yeah, the Masters got away, with Phil making that unbelievable putt on 18, and I was in the final group at the Open Championship where Todd Hamilton beat me, and also the PGA Championship again. Final hole, I hit it through the fairway into almost an unplayable lie after a perfect drive, and could only make 5 there. So, there've been a couple that got away from me, but as I say, still very fortunate to have won 4 majors.
Was there any particular in '04 that was worse than the others, or that stung and stuck with you longer?
Well, I think they all sting a little bit, now that you ask me, 95 came up very quickly, and obviously 96, and then 04, so 04, also a tournament I never won was the Masters Championship. So 04, I felt I was playing some of my best golf ever, although 94 was my breakthrough yet. In 2004, I was right in my prime. I was doing a lot of really good things. Me and Ledbetter, David, we had the swing going beautifully. I was hitting it far, and I was doing a lot of things good. So not winning the Masters, that will forever, be a kind of a sour taste in my mouth. But I gave it a good go, and the better player won on that day.
Well, you mentioned 96 and Tom Lehman winning that time there at St. Anne's. There was a moment as you were waiting for him to finish, where I think Tiger found you in the pro shop, or as you were waiting there in the clubhouse. What was that exchange like?
Yeah, Tiger, we go back a long time, and obviously I played a lot of golf with Tiger in that 94, 95 period when he was an amateur, even in 96. He won the US Amateur, I think, 3 or 4 times, and so he played in a lot of those big majors. He played in the Open Championship, he played at the Masters. So, we'd be paired together in the first rounds and so on. Also at Shinnecock in 95, at the US Open, we played together. So we played a lot of rounds together early on, and obviously he was still at Stanford. He was still studying there and doing great things as an amateur. So we as pros could see this guy is just going to be an absolute superstar. So he just wanted to reconfirm through me. I was having a beer, after the prize giving in the locker room, which is right behind the 18th green. And he sat next to me. He didn't have a beer. He was still a bit young. But I had a beer, and he asked me what I thought about his game, if I thought he was ready. I said absolutely, and I joke and I say I regret saying that, but I think he wouldn't have listened to me if I said he wasn't. But he's always been a good friend and one of the greatest competitors ever.
Well, you called him the greatest closer you've ever seen in this game. Just a killer instinct. In 2000 at Pebble, is there any anecdote, anything that you think back on now from that week? Or I know you made a charge, you got into the mix there by Saturday, but anything that come to mind watching Tiger that week?
No, he was very dominant then. 2000, he did great work with Butch Harmon, and his swing was just right on. He was hitting the driver unbelievable, but the putter, he really started getting his confidence with the putter, and he knew those greens so well. He was just phenomenal. He just never wavered. His ability to stick with the game plan and absolutely have his mind and body do what he wanted to do was just phenomenal. We could see a shot, pull it off most of the time, but under pressure, I don't think I've ever seen a man hit shots the way he did coming down the stretch. Saying the last 3-4 holes down the stretch, he would hit a phenomenal shot, a shot, best tournament golf shot or putt. He'll do it in the last 3 or 4 holes of a tournament many times. I mean, you look at most of his wins, all those wins at Bay Hill, the putts he made down the hill there, it's just incredible, those putts he made. Then at the World Series of Golf, he would hit a shot to a give in the dark.
Firestone, yeah.
At Firestone. And then, the shot at Canadian Open, out of the bunker, hit it to, a couple of feet there. I'm not sure if he won or not, but these type of shots just stand out, and he just did it over and over and over again, and that's the ability to absolutely control what you can control, but absolutely believe in the shot that you're going to pull off, and he did it over and over. The putts he used to make, it's just incredible. I mean, I think the only guy that come close to him in making those pressure putts is Jack Nicklaus. If you look at their careers, making putts, they would be very even on that regard, I think, because he also made great putts, Jack Nicklaus did. But Tiger just did it over and over, and that's why he won, 83 times on tour and 15 majors.
Stuart Appleby told me there was a great after party at your house, or at least at your place, after 03 when you went up against it with Tiger in the President's Cup. Like, it must have been a pretty good blow for blow there finish.
Yeah, we had a good, it was crazy pressure, for me especially. I mean, for Tiger also, nobody wants to have your team lose. And then being out there in a playoff is an honor, to have that honor to play for your team and your flag. So it was brilliant in that regard, but our play wasn't that great. But I think the putts that we kept making, grinding out pars, when it was getting dark, and then eventually, Tiger making that unbelievable putt left to right in the heart of the hole. If I thought he was going to miss one, it would have been that one. But again, Tiger, being Tiger, making that putt, and then I made that putt up the hill, and then it was really too dark. It was too dark to continue, and they made the right choice. But yeah, to have that honor to do that at that time was brilliant, and that's something we'll never forget. I remember Tiger also saying that he felt that was the most pressure he ever felt in his whole career. So to that point, so it meant a lot to everybody.
A couple last thoughts on modern game right now. What do you make of the swing speeds? I know you mentioned in the past that the swing speeds is not sustainable if you want to keep playing well into your 40s, with some of these young guys, right?
Yeah, but I mean now it's a big thing. I mean they are just absolutely so fast with the speed. I know the music is playing here now, but I mean the speed is just phenomenal. I played with a 15-year-old at Pebble Beach, and his swing speed's his ball speed's over 180. So this is just not going to end. And these guys don't even swing with 46-inch clubs. They do it with 45-inch clubs. So it's just a more athletic way of swinging the club. And that's the one thing that's changed immensely in the last 5 years in the game.
Is it long term, though? Is it going to be hard for them to make it out on the Champions Tour and to keep playing into their late 40s and 50s at this point?
Well, let's look at Podrick Harrington. I mean, he's got 180 ball speed, and on the range you can get it up to 190, so that pulls us along a little bit, At my age, I can get it up to 174, which is kind of where I was in my prime. But you're going to have to do this to stay relevant. You're going to have to stay up there with the swing speed and ball speed, and you just got to have to work out a bit more and keep your lower body going, your back especially, your knees and your ankles. It's a long game. If you're playing the long-term game, you're going to have to look after your body a lot differently than we did maybe in our day.
And lastly, as the music finishes up here, is there a rule you change in the game right now?
Yeah, you have to take away the long putter. The long putter has to go. They made that change with the belly putter, and for some reason they haven't done it with the rest of the game. I think if the long putter goes, I think we're doing a lot of things right in the game. If you have a problem with putting, that's part of the game. And I believe you should go back to the original short putter.
It just doesn't seem fair the way it's constituted now.
I don't think it's fair. I think you have some kind of problem putting, then you got to live with it, or get some other method. But to have these putters anchored to your body, to your forearm, to your chest, in many instances, I don't believe that's in the spirit of the game, and I don't think Bobby Jones and the fathers of the game would like to see how these guys putt now, especially. You go ask Jack Nicklaus and these type of guys, I'd say no, it should be outlawed. So that's the one thing I don't like in the game at the moment.
Great stuff. Ernie Els, thanks for your time and good luck the rest of the way in the season.
Thanks, my friend.